All right. Hey, guys. Happy Sunday. I honestly have no clue what this Zoom is about. I just got asked to get on and get the recording going, but I'm going to wing it, and we are going to figure it out. So here we go. That's how this works. I do know that, is this also Nina and Tiffany's team, or just Stormy's team? Just Stormy's team? Awesome. Okay. Well, first of all, y'all are lucky because Nina and Tiffany are the bee's knees, and they are stinking amazing. I love these two ladies. I swear Tiffany she signs like 82.7 distributors a month. That's about how many she signs a month. So I'm pretty sure okay, she just got me a list. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons that we have everyone on here. So with that, I have a couple of questions, or they have some questions, I'm guessing, that Stormy threw together from her team. And she just wants you guys to just discuss it with them because y'all are killing it right now. Both of you, Nina and Tiffany, y'all are one of those. I'm lucky because I get a whole different perspective and I get to see some of the things that happen on other teams, the bigger teams, and y'all are in for a treat because I don't think anyone, well, that's not true, Ashley. But outside of Ashley, I don't think anyone outworks these two ladies. They are not ever going to be outworked, and that's one of the things I love about them with their teams is they're going to be from the very front working their business, and they don't just talk about it. They do it, and they make me feel like I need to do a whole lot more almost daily. So you ladies can unmute yourselves. I am going to ask the questions, and then if Stormy jumps on here in a minute, I'll let her take over. And we're just going to go with it. We're going to roll with it. All right, so the first question is, what do you say to your distributors when they come to you saying, how do I sign distributors? So you got a new distributor, or you have someone on your team, they're in, and they want to know what they need to do to sign distributors. What do you
I've got kids screaming in the background, so if I mute myself randomly, that's why.
Okay, perfect.
I tell them to go talk to more people and go build more relationships. I think the key to getting distributors is that we have to build relationships first. And so you have to start talking. You have to ask people. You can't just assume that people see your posts. We have to actually ask people. So that would be my first tip.
Okay, can I back up really fast?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you're from, a little bit about your story because it's stinking amazing. And I forget that not everyone knows this, and we probably should have started with that.
That's okay. Hi, guys. I'm Nina. I'm from Amarillo, Texas. I am a double diamond. I've been in the business for 5 years. I joined in 2012. My son was 4 months old. I was looking to make some extra income from home to help pay off some debt. I just kind of dabbled in the business for a couple years, and I didn't really start working it until 2015. I kind of went from distributor, executive, Ruby, back to distributor for 3 years, and it was exhausting, but I just knew that there was something with this business and I couldn't quit. So in January of 2015, I decided it was time to really work my business and to do this and make something of it. So I started just working social media, working consistently, asking people, and my business finally took off after 3 years. I went Emerald in April, Diamond in September. The end of 2015, my life was kind of flipped upside down. I became a single mom of 2 kids. But the amazing thing about this business is that life can happen, but I had done so much work that year, I had income. And that my biggest just aha moment happened that year when I went from what I had to a single mom of 2, and I got to stay home. I didn't have to go find a job. I didn't have to go to work. I was able to still stay home with my kids. I went double diamond in February. Tiffany joined my team in what'd you join, Tiff? October 1st. Completely changed my business. I went double diamond in February. And that's where I'm still at right now. So I'm a double. I've got 2 kids I stay at home with full time. And this pays all of our bills. So it's pretty amazing.
And remind me, I have one too. I know. Okay. You met Tiffany on social media, right? Like
yes.
You didn't know her before. So this is one of those building relationships that y'all can talk about here.
Tiffany was moving to Amarillo. And we met on a Facebook moms group. She was just asking for information about moving here, daycares, pediatricians, and whatnot. We started talking. It Works kind of came in play after building a relationship. She told me no for like 3 months, and then she joined. So I'll let her fill in her spot.
It's a perfect transition. So tell us who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your story, your journey so far.
Well, my name is Tiffany Pifer, and I'm originally from Waco. And like Nina said, we just recently moved to Amarillo. Moving upon to Amarillo, I was bringing my very ill mother with us to Amarillo. My husband, just took over a facility in Amarillo. So his hours, he wasn't getting home till like 10:30 at night. And when Nina did approach me, I declined several times. I was one of those people that even said I was going to go to an online event, and I never would show up. I had excuse after excuse after excuse, the ones that we all hear. I was crazy busy. I worked 50, 60 hours a week. I juggled taking my mom to and from the doctor's office all the time. I was practically a solo mom in the evenings because of my husband. I had every reason to say no. And I did for a while. And I was back up a little bit. I was actually a loyal customer prior to any of this. So I was familiar with the company. And the only product I ever tried was hair, skin, and nails. I knew I loved it. So when it was a little bit after we moved here, I had a miscarriage, and I took it extremely hard. And Nina, unbeknownst to anything, asked me shortly after that. And I just took it as a sign. I still had all the excuses to say no, but something in my gut just said, hey, this will be a distraction for me in the evenings when my husband's not here and I didn't have any friends and family here in town. So I looked at it more so as a hobby versus that I could make money, because I was still very skeptical on the fact that I could make any kind of money. And I jumped in. I would send Nina messages. I literally could not have my phone at work. So I would get a message. She would tell me, hey, send this out. I would do exactly what she said, would send it out. Someone would respond. I would send her a snapshot. She'd say, respond something like this. I would do what she did. And my business was growing. And in the evenings, I just became addicted to changing people's lives. I became addicted to, when that first customer told me they lost a couple pounds, or, I signed a distributor and they just made their fast start bonus. It just became fun. And I was not passionate about it when I started. And that's what I always tell people, that you don't have to be. That's fine. I wasn't passionate about it. I didn't know anything about it. But I grew in love with the company. I grew in love with the process. And in 4 months, I went diamond and earned a $20,000 diamond bonus, or double with the diamond bonus last February. And that's where I sit right now. I am so close to double. And that's really it. As far as what do I tell my distributors when they can't find a distributor, I really bring up my home story. I let them know that you just have to keep asking. There's people right in front of your face that you talk to every single day. You don't know their story. You don't know their why. And if you're not asking them, somebody else will ask them. They really, truly will. And as far as however you're promoting, you can promote this business whichever way you feel comfortable promoting, but you have to ask people. You have to post. You have to be relatable. You can't be salesy. And that will bring you people that want to do this business with you. As long as it's making you happy and people can see that and you portray that happiness throughout your post or throughout your life, then people will want to do what you're doing.
I had to unmute myself. Sorry. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And y'all, she is so stinking close to double. she's probably going to go like double, triple, like boom, boom. That's what I see happening whenever it all just starts falling into place. But, okay, so, but basically both of y'all, you got to ask, you got to build relationships. I think a lot of time people think that there's something magic. And I come to Tiffany and I'm like, hey girl, okay, what are you doing? Because you're signing 52,000 distributors in 1 month. What are you doing that I'm not doing? And there's nothing different. She's not doing anything that we're not already doing. The difference is she's just doing a whole heck of a lot more of it. So when I would talk to her, it's like, well, those are the things I'm doing, but I'm sending 5 to 10 messages. And she's like, well, I'm going to send 100. If you're going to get, you know, you have to know your ratio, whatever it is. But she comes back down to that being relational, telling your story over and over and over and over again in so many different ways. And that posting is just like 10% of what we do. I think that's where a lot of new people get caught up is, but I'm posting, no one's coming to me. Well, guess what? They're not coming to us either, right? Like you have to go and ask them. So, okay, let's see here. Suggestions for, okay, what are some of your favorite go-to messages about when you're starting to recruit distributors? Once you've already had that initial interaction, you're building a relationship, whether it's through commenting and liking their stuff on social media, having a conversation, where do you go? Like, what do you say to make that transition into, hey, you want to join my business, kind of? I know that's not how you say it, but what are those things that you say to get that interest and get those people going back and forth with you? So we'll let Tiffany go first, and then we'll come to Nina. Does that work? Perfect. Okay,
there's several ways that I can go about it, just depending on how long you've been talking to someone. One of the big things that I like to do is I like to find a picture in their profile. 9 out of 10 people, girls especially, when they go to get their nails done, they're going to take a picture of their hands afterwards if they're going to post them, probably. I mean, you can probably find that on every single person's social media after they got their nails done. And so I will just send that in a message. Like, you can actually respond to the message and just go, hey girl, I know this is so random, but I can actually show you how to make money while posting a photo similar to this. And, or, you know, they just got their hair done. I had a lady that she just got her hair done, and it was a back view, and it was beautiful. And it looked like ones that I pull off of Pinterest when I'm doing a hair, skin, and nail post. And I would just send her the exact same thing. And another way that I'll open up the door is I'll just tell them, hey, I'm not sure if this is even interests you at all, but one of my trial distributors just fell through, and I wanted to see if by chance you would be interested in making extra income from your phone. And when you present it in such a way, it's not pushy, it's not salesy. They may say no, and that's totally fine. You just write them down. And I just normally, when I get that no, I just ask them, can I ask why? Or, you know, that's totally okay. I was skeptical too. But it's really, it doesn't matter. Like Tammy said, there's no magical message at all. It's just own up to saying, hey, I know this is random. I'm so sorry to bug you. You know, but I can't stop thinking about you. You were the first person I thought of this morning when I got up out of bed. I just had to message you. Anything like that just kind of, they can feel it coming from your heart versus salesy will open the door.
Yes. Awesome. Nina?
I mean, exactly the same. Just to piggyback off that is that you just keep it so natural. And like she said, not salesy. And the more that you just, hey, I just can't get you off my mind. I think you would be so amazing at what I do. And finding people that have similar interests as you will help you be more genuine with those people. So I like to make sure, you know, finding other single moms or other, you know, I was a tennis player, other moms that are tennis players or whatever, just people with similar interests. That's easier to build a relationship too, because you have something to start talking about first. And so once you do that, you build that relationship. It's just easier to transition and just throw out there, I know this might be random, but I think you'd be so amazing at what I do. Would you be interested in just hearing a little bit about it? That's going to be the best way to make it just feel natural and them not feel like you're coming at them and just spamming them. Like so many people on social media feel like they're just getting these spam copy paste messages, and it's such a turnoff, and it's running so many people away from social media. So just stay as far away from that as you possibly can and just be real with people.
Okay, you said something that I want y'all to probably highlight on is you're going after, I don't want to say going after like you're like hunting, but you know what I mean. You're coaching people that are similar to you. So when we have a new distributor join our team, a lot of times they want to basically just replicate exactly what we're doing. But had Tiffany replicated Nina, like Nina played tennis in the Olympics, right? She is a tennis player. She is a single mom. This is her, well, maybe not in the Olympics, but you did, right? I didn't make that up, did I?
No, I didn't play in the Olympics, but I played professionally.
Okay, but like on an Olympic team?
I was a Fed Cup team, but yeah.
Okay, close.
You're on the right track.
All right, so had Nina or Tiffany come in and started like basically replicating what Nina was doing, her audience and her people were going to be like, no, this is spammy, this is not you. But Nina has, you know, her single mom, her tennis, her athlete, this side. And then Tiffany, I mean, she uses a lot of her infertility struggle and the way that she's a work-at-home mom, and she brings those people in. And so I think when you're coaching new distributors and looking for new distributors, you want to go with people that are similar, that are going to relate to you. You want to find those things, but also you want to try to coach your new distributors finding their thing. Like, all right, you joined me. You're not a mom, so you don't need to be making these posts like me. Let's figure out how it works for you. And I think that's where we fall short a lot with our distributors, is because they want this stock answer, like post this, message this. Well, that's not how it's going to work, because you have to have that relational. You have to have your own voice on social media, and y'all both do such a good job on that. Like, never do I look at something that you've posted and think, well, where did she pick that one up from? Like, who did she copy that from? Because it's not. It's your voice, and that's what so many new distributors aren't doing. They're just going and copying it and pasting it, and if we see it, people on social media know it. Like, that is not Nina. What is this girl saying? Like, come on.
Yeah. And what people can do is, even if you find something that you want to copy and paste, reword it a little bit. Don't do it verbatim. You know, take a part of it, take some of it out, change it, make it sound like you. I sometimes, if I'm in a hurry, I copy and paste. I find something, but I'm going to reword it and make it my own. My child's singing Jesus Loves Me in the background. But I'm going to make it my own before I post it. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, and that comes into when you're messaging people, because you've put your story and who you are out there. So when you are messaging them like, hey, I was skeptical too, but I was a stay-at-home mom, I was going through this, whatever it was, like, you have that relational, and they're probably going to go and stalk you and see, okay, is this really who she is? Is this what she's claiming to be? So, all right. With that said, how do you not word vomit on people? When new distributors start, they want to just, someone says, sure, what is it? And they're like, here you go. And it's everything from 2001 to 2017 of it works. And then that person never responds to them. So how, when you're having these conversations, do you make sure that you don't word vomit, or what are some tricks and tips that you guys use when you're messaging with people? You know, you could go first. I used to do the same thing. I mean, I think we all do that in the beginning. And if you can realize early in your business to keep it so very simple, it will help you so much. Never answer a question that has not been asked. Don't throw information out there that they have not asked for. Always end your message with a question to continue building the conversation, but don't throw out there all this information. Even if they ask, okay, tell me a little bit about the business. That's tempting to just be like, oh, well, it started in 2001, and just send them everything you know, but they don't want that. Pick some highlights, some things. I would start that as, well, these are the reasons I joined the business. This is what attracted me to this company. And if you can keep it simple, it will help you so much. Awesome. One last thing. Wait, Tiffany, before Nina jumps off, what are some of your favorite, questions that you ask to keep that conversation going? So they ask a question, you answer their question. What are some of those things that you bring in at the very end to keep the conversation going?
Usually, does this sound like something you'd be interested in? Is this, would you want to join me in this business? Can I answer any more questions for you? Anything like that to turn it back around. Ask them if they have more questions. Ask them if this is something for them.
Right. And it's kind of like dating. When you were getting to know someone and you were in that like courtship phase, like they asked a bajillion questions about you to you because it was them showing interest in you. Like you wanted them to talk more about themselves than you were talking about yourself. And it's the same thing when you're messaging people. It's like, pretend this is a courtship. So let them talk all about themselves. And the less you can say about yourself, the better, unless they ask.
Absolutely.
All right, Tiffany. Thank you, Nina.
No, I was really going to say the exact same thing she does. Do not answer anything that hasn't been asked. And when you're typing a response, keep it 2 to 3 sentences. If you notice that you're going over that 2 to 3 sentences, then your reply is way too long. It doesn't need to be any more than 2 to 3 sentences. And like Nina said, always end in a question that keeps the conversation alive. If you are brand new, I highly, highly recommend screenshotting the message, sending it to your sponsor, and seeing how they would answer it. I love to do this for my new distributors. It helps teach them how to answer without word vomit. That's really something that's it is. I really believe a lot of it is your follow-up messages, your rebuttals of their initial question. And if you word vomit on them, you can lose them really quick and get blocked really quick, and then you could lose the potential. So when in doubt, message your sponsor and ask them, how would you reply to this without word vomiting?
Right. Okay, so now let's follow up with that. Now we know how to have the conversations back and forth. One of the main questions that people ask is, after you've worked through your warm market, which I really don't believe that anyone ever completely works through their warm market. That's a whole other story. But anyway, how do you continually grow your market? What are some things? Because I want them to all have some tangible things that they can go and do today, whether it's on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever. What are some of those tangible things that you guys do to grow your market daily, to grow that influence to where you're never without a lack of people to reach out to have these relationships with?
Go ahead, Tiff.
So every day you need to be adding people to your social media, because you will hit a wall eventually and you will ask all your people. I started this company with 80 followers on Instagram, and I don't know how many on Facebook. But I had 80 followers, and now I have close to 10,000 followers. And I have that because I add people every single day that relate with me. It all goes back to what Nina said earlier. You want to make sure you're not just adding anyone, because if I'm adding a whole bunch of people that have nothing in common with me, how am I going to carry a conversation on with them? How am I going to be able to relate to them in order to get that comfortable feeling to ask them if they want to join this company? So I add people based on hashtags, boy mom, boy life, mom life, infertility mom, anything that relates to me. I'm adding people daily, as many people, anytime I get a free moment. And I know this sounds so silly, y'all, but when you're sitting on the toilet, add people to social media. When you're sitting in the bathtub, add people to social media. When you're sitting, with your child taking a bath, add people to social media. When you are stirring a pot of beans, add people to social media. You can constantly find pockets of time to work your business and to grow your social media, because that's what's going to keep people, you're going to keep adding people to your funnel, if that makes sense. And whenever you have those people, they're going to like your comments, they're going to like your photos, and you're going to have more people to message the next day. The more people you follow, or the more people that follow you, the more likes you're going to get, and the more people that you can message. I hope that makes sense.
Right. No, it makes total sense. Go ahead, Nina.
Same. Just add people constantly. I think we both do the exact same thing every day. So Like she said, add people constantly. Be careful on Facebook. Don't add as many on Facebook as you do on Instagram. Totally different social media platforms. Because if you add too many on Facebook, you will get put in Facebook jail. Because I've been there. But Instagram, it's free range. You just add as many people as you possibly can. And then build relationships. Don't add people and then go message them right away. That's why building on social media can take a little bit longer for some people. It's so different for everyone, but it can take longer. And sometimes you have to have patience because you have to build those relationships with that cold market first. You can't just start spamming them right away. You're going to start getting blocked and no one's going to respond to you. So just genuinely build relationships with all the people that you're adding every single day.
Awesome. To piggyback off of something Nina said, when you're adding these people, I like to pick every single day 10 to 20 people and I write them down. I write their names down and I go and I like and comment on something that they have every single day for a whole week. And then the next week I'll do the same thing. And it's because you're just kind of, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to go and message them about the business, but I'm kind of pick people to grow relationships with. Mm-hmm. And luckily Instagram gives us the ability to know when somebody likes or responds to a comment that we posted on their page. So if they like a comment that I post, I'm going to put an asterisk next to them because I'm going to hardcore build a relationship with them now, if that makes sense. Like it's just somebody that I know is active. They liked my comments, so I'm going to go back and re-comment on something else and just really grow that relationship as much as I can.
Awesome. Okay, I just saw Stormy message me saying Megan has questions. I missed that whole thing, so I've been making up the questions as I go, but apparently there's questions.
Did you really make up those questions?
Most of them, just remembering what y'all were talking about in the chat.
That's literally the list of questions she sent me.
She said
every question that you asked.
No, because she just resent them. There's a couple more that you have.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were done yet, but let me check what she sent me. Hold on.
I just saw it. I was like, oh look, you never mind. It's always the same types of questions mainly.
I know they're basically just worded a little different, but she wants you to talk about how to find new DTs, which we just talked about, and how to approach those people. How to use the DT promotions to our advantage in conversations, or how to best word them when approaching potentials. That might be a good one.
Like the new distributor promotions?
Yeah, like the $100 shopping and all that stuff.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm actually messaging anyone that, because I don't know if y'all are like me, but I just messaged every single person practically that I've ever talked to and told them that May 30th or 31st, I forget how many days we had, 31st was the last day that they could earn a bonus. So the fact that I just told them that was the absolute last day now gave me the ability to go back and tell every single one of them, oh my goodness, I am so excited for you that they just extended these bonuses. We have to get you started today. And it's the way that I do, I'm doing that in that way because I want to, you always want to be excited for them. This isn't about you. This isn't about another distributor under your belt. And you can never let somebody feel that way. You always want them to know that you're ready to make them money and you're excited for them. So that's one thing that I'm doing is I'm telling them all that. I'm not word vomiting and telling them every single thing else. I really am not right now. I haven't told a lot of my people about the $100 in credit. As soon as they get signed up, that's when I plan on telling them, girl, now as soon as we get you 4 customers, you get $100 in free product credit. Or free credit. So I'm not really using that as much as I am the fact that they extended the bonuses.
Okay.
I am using, sorry, Tiff, I'm using the 100 because I was so stinking excited that was back. But I'm doing the same. I'm saying I'm so excited. Bonuses were extended, and now you can also earn this $100 shopping spree. Let's get you started. Let's get you started earning extra income. So yeah, just doing the same thing, messaging everyone we've ever talked to, but also messaging all those new people that are liking your posts. and just showing your excitement about how exciting this is for them. So making it, like she said, making it all about them and what they can get from it and how it can change their life, and that, you know, how excited you are to help them get started.
Okay. She also has, let's see, examples of conversations with someone who don't know specifically and responses to the typical excuses that we get. Like, I can't afford it. I want to try the product first. Everyone I know sells it.
I think Tiff is the absolute best at this because she can turn someone's, I don't want to join you, until them getting into the computer the next day.
Honestly, if someone flat out tells me no, I ask them why. I want to know why they're a no, because I can turn that no into a yes. Now, whether I turn that no into a yes in a day, a week, 3 months, a year, regardless, you have to find out the reason why they are a no. If the reason they're a no is because of money, I'm going to be very frank and very blunt, which is not my character at all if you know me. And I'm going to turn right back around and I'm going to tell them that's even a better reason. We have to figure out a way to get you started now. And I go and I tell them the top income earners in the company had to sell a couch in order to get started. Have you ever considered finding something in your house that you could sell so that we can get you started making extra income and get you more of a financial cushion? The fact that you're just making it about them, y'all. I mean, you don't have to take that comment and get scared of it because they don't have the money. Let's help them find out how to get the money so they can sign up. The next thing is if they tell me that they didn't have time, I use me as an example. And if you don't have that ability to use yourself as an example, grab a sponsor, grab a sideline sister, use me as an example if you have to. But tell them there's many people out there that work 50, 60 hours a week. I worked when I went diamond, y'all. I didn't quit till 7 months in. I went diamond in 4 months. I was working 50, 60 hours a week, and life was far from slow. It was crazy busy. So I use that as an example. But you really, there's always something to rebuttal back with. Just be very relatable. I mean, if they tell you that, I seriously have people tell me no, and then I ask them and they tell me, oh, it's because I'm fixing to go on vacation. Okay, well then when do you get back from vacation? Let's get you started. Just always find out the reason why they're a no, and we can get them in the system regardless.
Okay.
I'm going to piggy on that really fast. A lot of time it's just about pulling out that excuse and talking through it with them, because they might say, I'm just too busy, but it's because they might think that they have to make this a full-time job. So it's just having those conversations with people when they give you that excuse to really get to the bottom line, because usually what they say is not the real reason. So it's not, I don't have the money. It's because they might think, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. There's all of this going on, but I do have $99, right? Or I could go and sell something. So it's really just working through, instead of just being like, okay, well, thanks for your time. It's having the guts, like Tiffany says, to just come back and be like, well, come on. You know, do you have 20 minutes a day? Yes, you do. But, okay, I'm going back to being in my hole.
And that's where your posting is important too, because it's important for them to look at your posting and look at your pictures and see that you're incorporating your work into everyday life. I might be at the park with my kid, but I'm helping a customer. I might be, you know, you're incorporating into daily life. It's not something they have to put everything aside. I can't do anything else. I can't go anywhere. I have to throw parties all the time. I think a lot of people have a total misconception about a party business or whatever they think it might be. And that might be their excuse, is just like Tammy said, they don't have time because they might think it's something that it's really not. And if they can just understand how simple it can be, if they really prioritize their time, that's why you just need to show them in your posting how you can do it from absolutely anywhere every day. Soapbox.
Okay, last thing on top of that. With the posting, we already talked about this, is sharing your story over and over and over in different ways, but it's also really important to share other people's stories over and over and over in different ways, because I might not have someone these people on my social media, if we're growing our networks, they're not all going to be just like me, a mom, this or that. But if I can share Tiffany's story, if I can share Megan's story, if I could share Nina, if I could share some of Stormy, someone is going to relate to that person and be like, oh, that's just like me. It might not have been my story that they related to, but if I start sharing these snippets of everyone else's along the way, you're going to be able to tap into those people and get them going. If it's consistent, you have to be consistent about sharing, but not just your story. Yours, yeah, so they know who you are, but like I wouldn't relate to a Olympic tennis star that's a single mom, right? But I might relate to the single mom part, but maybe not the tennis. You see what I'm saying? Like you want to share and highlight all of these other people, and that's where knowing whose stories to go and getting on things like this, plugging in, so you can start learning about other people and be like, who was that tennis star? Because there's this girl following me now that plays college tennis, and it made me think of her. I can go and post this with this person in mind, and then message her. Hey, I don't know if you saw, I posted about my friend Nina, who used to play college tennis. This is what she does now, and I thought of you. Is this something you might be interested in doing? So it's having all of those different things going on at the same time. Okay, I'm back to letting Megan take the show.
No, I think that's the whole thing. I mean, there was like, what do you say to your DTs that say, how do I sign distributors? Which that was kind of the first question we went over. Suggestions for getting distributors to want to be a distributor and sealing the deal, which we went over that also. And then I think we covered the rest of Stormy's questions. Word vomiting.
Market.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm looking at the questions now because I did get them.
Yeah, you really did.
How to use promotions. That's what y'all just talked about, right? The 100 and the, okay. So I guess my last question just is, if you were talking to someone today, so well, obviously you are, you're talking to like 20 people today, that have maybe been in for a month or two, and they're just kind of stuck, because we've all gotten stuck. We all at some point lose that initial fire that you had as soon as you started, because that blind faith, because you have no clue what you just got yourself into, but it's exciting at the same time. What would you tell these people if they came to you as a distributor and they're like, I don't know what to do. What do I need to do next? Because I feel stuck. I don't feel like anyone is telling me yet, whatever it is, these excuses that I don't want to say excuses, a lot of them are valid, but they're just stuck. So how do you start pulling your distributors out of the mud when they're stuck? What are the things that you do for them that these distributors can start doing themselves or replicating to their distributors?
I'll tell them, do you know your why? Why did you sign up? What is your goal for this business? What did you join to accomplish? Because if you can know that is going to keep you in this business forever. As long as you can remember your why, your goal, where you're headed. I was still paid as a distributor, guys, after 3 years in the business. I got like a $150 check on my 3-year anniversary. If I didn't have a why and a goal and stay plugged in, if Ashley wasn't coming to Amarillo, back then she was coming to Amarillo once a month at least to do trainings. And if I didn't go to every single one of those, I probably would have quit. But I got to see other people around me be successful. And it just made me keep thinking, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. No matter how long it takes, I can do this. So you have to know your why and know that it will happen. You just have to keep going and you cannot quit. So I would encourage them to get plugged in, find people to go have coffee with, find sidelines to talk to, get on Zooms, get on corporate calls, get to an event. That would be huge, because you can go to an event feeling like you want to quit, and you can walk out of an event feeling like you're going to be an ambassador next month. It just motivates you like nothing else can. So I'd tell them to get plugged in. You'll be okay. To get plugged in and to know their why, and maybe meet them or get on a Zoom or a call and help them make a dream board, help them make their goals out, help them with kind of where they're headed.
Awesome.
I'm going to do about the same thing she did. I'm going to find out their why. I actually like to find out people's why when they first join, and I have my big calendar and I write next to it if they tell me what their goal is within this business. I like to write it down just so I can reference that, because I've had people that I've signed up, and 2 weeks later they tell me they can't do it. They've gotten 3 no's and it's the end of the world and they're just not good at this business. I mean, some people just need that extra encouragement. And when you have someone that's so new, you have to, I mean, there's kind of a line of when you can talk, how you can talk to certain people as long as they've been in the company. And when they're brand new like that, you just need to encourage them, especially if they're why, and remind them, hey girl, you started so that you could be, a stay-at-home mom. Like, don't lose that focus. Like, we can get you there. As long as you let me help you, we can get you there. And then you have those people that have been in the business for a little bit that you can be very frank with and go, okay, well, let me ask you this question. How many people did you message this week? How many people did you ask this week? How many times did you post this week? Did you tune into the Sunday night call? How many Zooms did you get in? Did you read all of the team posts that were posted on the page? I mean, there's people that you can really get frank with, I guess, if that's how you can say it, and just really the ugly truth with, and say, honestly, I'm going to be very frank with you. If you've only messaged 3 people this whole week and you posted twice about your business this whole week and you didn't tune into any Zooms this week, how do you expect to make your why a reality? So that's you kind of have to judge it on who is asking you and who is discouraged. If they're a brand new person, obviously you don't want to give them that tough love. But if there's someone that's, is capable, and that it hasn't been posting and asking as much as you think that they have in the past, then that's someone that you can give that little bit of tough love to. And like Nina said, get them on a Zoom, get them on a phone call. A lot of our distributors are not local. We have a very small local team. So Zooms are so important to plug in and just get that, surround yourself, even though we're all not in the same room, but surround yourself with like your sisterhood, because it's something about being around like-minded people. And like, that's, exactly what she said about get to events. I mean, it really does something to you, y'all.
Okay. I want just a quick perspective for people, because I think a lot of times people have this very skewed perspective. I'm going to just kind of call you out, Tiffany, just in a way. So can you tell me from January to now, because I know you know exactly how many distributors you've signed, and then what does that look like? How many messages a day are you sending? Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, she just has this great network and they're just all joining. But I know the other side and I know the truth, and I want some of this perspective for these people. If they want the 50 to 80 now, I don't know, I stopped paying attention. They want the 100 distributors in 6 months, but they're like, I've posted 3 times today and messaged 6 people. Mm-hmm. Like, they need to really see, I think they need that tangible numbers. Like, this is what it looks like. If that's what you want, this is what it looks like.
Honestly, I message anywhere from 100 to 200 people a day. I wake up in the mornings, and I would say a bad day is 75-ish. I mean, I try my best to get to 100 before the day is over. But I wake up in the morning, and anyone that obviously has messaged me, I'm messaging back. Anyone that liked a photo from the day prior, I really focus on getting 9 photos a day on Instagram, between business and personal. I mean, I like my top 9 to be different every single day, and it to look like a catalog. I know that sounds cheesy, but that's the first 9 pictures that people see when they open your Instagram, and you need to think of it like a magazine. Is it eye-catching? Because that's what people look at. So I message anyone who likes it. I don't care if they're personal. I don't care if they're business related. I'm messaging them somehow, some way. And so I'm messaging all those people. And then I'm going to go through, and anyone I messaged yesterday that didn't read the message, I'm actually going to resend that message, because you can copy and unsend and resend. And then anyone that saw the message yesterday, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, hey, I apologize. I hope that message did not offend you. I just think that you would be really good at what I do. So practically, I'm I'm following up in a sense, but I'm apologizing for my randomness for the day before, because a lot of people feel the need to message you back after you apologize because they don't want to look like a jerk, I guess. So they're messaging you back and telling you why they did not message you back yesterday. So once I have all of this message or all of those messages done, then I'm going and I am building my relationships. Like I said, I pick people throughout the week, and I'm going and I'm doing my, I don't like to call them cold messages because it's not like I'm just picking people. I'm building the relationships with them, but I'm doing it in a nice way, I guess you could say. But I'm picking those people to message. And when you add it up throughout the whole day, by the end of the day, I've literally messaged 150 to 200 people. And with that said, you would think, oh, well, gosh, you probably got like 5 people in the system a day. And it's not necessarily true. I mean, I may get nothing but no's all day. I may not, after 200 messages in a day, one person might have responded to me. It just depends on who they are and how consistent you stay. And then like I may have a dry spell of like 6 days, and then finally 10 people that I talk to get in the system. And that's when you see, I have like 8 people in 1 week. It's just because I'm constantly asking, I'm constantly building a relationship, I'm constantly adding people to my funnel. So eventually they're going to flow out.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's what I think the perspective is. And we've had this conversation. Like I love Tiffany, and I would love to have 100 distributors in my first 6 months, but I just don't have that drive right now. But I get that and I understand that. But I also know that if I need to do at least 10 to 15 a day for me to be happy to reach my numbers, my goals. But I know that there is going to be a time when I'm pushing to ambassador and it's almost right there that I'm going to have to step it up. And so it's just one of those things. And I know that y'all get it. We get it. People, what's she doing? What's she doing so different? Her, or not just you, just whoever it is. We get it a lot. I get it a lot about Megan and Aaron. What are they doing? They're just blah, 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 blah. Well, no, they're just working and hustling a lot harder than we are. And I think it's important to call it what it is. I mean, this is what it is the hustle and the time and the energy that you're putting behind it. And you have an organized plan of action. You're not just going at it like throwing it up and hoping that it sticks. Like you have this stuff. You have your plan in place, and you know your ratio that if this is how many that you want to sign, this is how much work you have to do. And I think really
piggyback off of I don't know where Daddy's house shoes are, honey. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. All right, that's all I had. Megan, is there anything else that you have?
I wanted to piggyback off of one thing that you said, just because of the fact of messaging people and messaging so many people. And you may look at it and you go in, gosh, I really, I got 20 out and I felt good. That's great. But if you're sitting here and you're at executive and you're wanting to be diamond, or you are so close to diamond and you feel like your team is just crumbled underneath you, you have to remember that you're in charge of your chart. Don't rely on your team. If you want something so bad, you can go out and you can make it happen. And it may take you longer to find that runner, and that's where I'm at right now. That's why I feel like I've been at Diamond for the last 30 years. But I know that eventually I'm going to find that runner just like myself. And the more people I put in, the more people I pour myself into, I'm going to get them. So that's why I personally do it. It's time consuming. It's exhausting. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. But it's something that I know that it's in my hands. I'm not going to leave my paycheck in other people's hands right now because I have goals that I'm trying to hit. So you just kind of got to look at where you want to be, and, don't leave it up to your team because, get mad at them if they don't do it when you could do it yourself.
Right. I would not know what to do with 100 new distributors in a year or in 6 months. That just gives me anxiety just thinking about it. I don't even know where to start to get them all trained, and where on my chart do I put them all? Megan's like, I'll take them.
I will if you want.
Please.
No, I don't think I have any other questions. I think covered everything pretty well.
Does anybody else have any questions before we get off? No, I can't see hardly anyone's faces. It's so weird. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. Sorry it kind of was not how it was supposed to go as plans, but you know what? Whatever. You roll with it. It's the joy of this business is there doesn't have to be that kind of structure, right? Thank you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you for pouring into Stormy's team. I have it recorded, so I will get you the link if you want it for your teams also, or for whoever. And Megan and Aaron, I'm going to go ahead and just put it on the team page so that everyone can have it. You can tag all of your people. And I hope you're going to green carpet. Do I get to see the green carpet, Nina, Tiffany? No? Oh, okay. Fine. I will just have to wait to see you again some other time. But you guys have a good evening. Don't forget the family call here in 30 minutes. And we love you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.